Have you ever wished you had a personal coach? Someone who knows exactly what you need to do to get better. Well, what if that perfect coach was you? Today, we're going to dive into this really cool idea of how you can become your own best teacher just by leaving messages for your future self.
So our story kicks off with a puzzle that seems to break all the rules of how you become an expert at something. We're going to look at the journey of a world-class athlete who didn't just master his craft, he did it in a way that kind of turns conventional wisdom completely on its head. And this is the central question, right? It usually takes about a decade of really deliberate practice with tons of coaching to get to the top of any field. But elite parkour athlete Jason Paul, he did it in half that time, and he did it mostly by himself. So, how? The answer is way simpler and honestly way more powerful than you might think. And there it is. From the very beginning, Paul's most important piece of gear wasn't his shoes, it wasn't the gym, it was his camera. He was basically creating this constant feedback loop where the person giving him advice was, well, it was himself from just a few moments ago. So let's get into the science of this, because it's pretty amazing how filming yourself actually works on a cognitive level. This is way more than just watching a playback. It's a really profound way of communicating with yourself across time. And believe it or not, it actually has a name.
It all starts with this idea from biology called Stigmergy. It's how groups without a central leader get things done. Think about a termite colony building a giant complex mound, or even how Wikipedia editors build a whole encyclopedia. One person leaves a trace, and that trace tells the next person what to do.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when we turn this whole idea inward? The trace isn't a pheromone trail for the next ant in line. No, the trace is a video you just took. And the person who's about to act on it is you 5 minutes from now.
And that right there is the core of what researchers are calling self-directed stigmergy. You creating messages on purpose to have a conversation with the person you're going to be tomorrow or next week. Your environment, the video, becomes your partner in this conversation.
So these videos, these traces you leave for yourself, they're more than just recordings. Researchers call them metamarks, and each one is like a little message sent through time. From your past self, the one who did the thing, to your present self, the one analyzing it. All to help out your future self.
So how does this conversation with yourself actually work? I mean, it's not just about randomly watching old clips, right? When researchers looked at Jason Paul's process, they found this really powerful 5-step cycle that honestly, anyone can use to get better at pretty much anything.
All right, let's break this down. First, you revisit your past work. Then, you use that video to remember not just what you did, but that felt sense, what it actually felt like to do it. From there, you reassess if that move could work somewhere else. Then the big one, you recalibrate, adjusting based on what you see. And finally, you reinforce what worked.
Paul's own words really nail this. He says that when he gets scared to try a trick he hasn't done in a while, he just rewatches a clip of himself landing it. It's not just imagining it. It's hard proof that he's done it before. It totally rebuilds his confidence and makes that mental practice incredibly real.
Okay, let's zoom in on what I think is the most powerful step in this whole cycle, recalibration. This is where the real magic of self-correction happens. And it's all about facing this fundamental blind spot that pretty much all of us have.
We all have what the researchers call a reality gap. It's that space between our internal feeling of a performance, what it feels like we're doing, and what a camera, an objective observer, would actually see. And that metamark, that video, is what makes that invisible gap suddenly visible.
And this is the perfect example. Paul found the systematic bias in his own body awareness. He felt like he was taking off at a 45-degree angle. But the video, that objective truth, showed him, nope, you're consistently off by 15 degrees. His feeling was basically lying to him.
And this is so important. He couldn't just try harder to hit 45 degrees. He had to create a totally new mental map. To get his body to actually go at 45 degrees, he had to consciously aim for what felt to him like 30 degrees. He was using hard data to correct his own subjective feelings. That's amazing.
And you can only make these kinds of super precise adjustments with immediate feedback. Why? Because that memory of the felt sense just vanishes incredibly fast. Paul himself said that if he waited even a few minutes to watch the tape, the feeling was already weaker and his adjustments just weren't as good.
All right, so let's bring this all home. This whole idea isn't just for athletes, not at all. It's a fundamental principle for anyone who's trying to learn or create or just get better at something. It's all about how you talk to yourself through your own work over time. I mean, think about it. Every draft you write is a metamark. Every sketch you make in a notebook, every version of a design you save, every time you commit code, or even record yourself practicing an instrument, all of those are messages from your past self, and they are loaded with data for you to use.
So if there's one big takeaway here, it's this: change how you think about your old work. Stop treating it like a dusty old archive of finished stuff. Start seeing it for what it is: an active conversation partner for your own improvement. It's not just a record, it's a resource.
So, the next time you look back at something you made, a document, a project, anything at all, don't just file it away. Ask yourself, what was my past self trying to tell me? What little reality gap can I close today? Your past work has already left you a message. The only question is, are you listening?